Kem Sokha is accused of plotting to take power with American help. Hun Sen's critics called the CNRP dissolution an attempt to steal the election and the death knell for democracy. Western donors have spent billions of dollars since 1993 trying to build a multi-party system following decades of war. On current course, next year's election will not be legitimate, free, or fair, a White House statement said, promising to take concrete steps. The first of those was to end support for the Cambodian National Election Committee ahead of the 2018 election, it said. In Brussels, an EU spokesman said the election could not be legitimate without the opposition and noted that respect for human rights was a prerequisite for Cambodia's access to EU trade preferences under its Everything But Arms scheme. That scheme, giving tariff-free access, and similar trade preferences in the United States have helped Cambodia build a garment industry on low-cost labor. Between them, EU and US markets take some 60% of Cambodia's exports. In a symbolic step, the U.S. Senate passed a resolution calling on the Treasury and State Departments to consider placing Cambodian officials implicated in abuses on a watch list for asset freezes and travel bans. Hui Vanak, Undersecretary of State at Cambodia's Interior Ministry, who is close to Hun Sen, said the U.S. position was made without consideration to the evidence and court hearing. We hope that the U.S. will consider the overall bilateral relations with Cambodia and continue to collaborate with common interests of both countries, he said. War of words. Hun Sen has been in a deepening war of words with the U.S. Embassy and State Department over a crackdown on his critics, but at the weekend posed with U.S. President Donald Trump at a regional summit and praised his policies of non-interference. The fact that the threat of action came from the White House gave it greater weight than previous statements from the State Department calling for the release of Kem Sokha. But leaders of the CNRP now say they support some sanctions. Sanctions are the best leverage for negotiation for free, fair, and inclusive elections, said Kem Sokha, a deputy to CNRP leader Kem Sokha, who fled Cambodia fearing arrest. There were no party members at the CNRP headquarters on Friday, only security guards. They are worried about their safety, said security guard Chin Savi. Hun Sen has a lot of help from China. If he just depended on the US, we wouldn't be anywhere, said Ken Kong, 69, a businessman. China is by far the biggest single donor to Cambodia and its biggest investor. It voiced support for the government after the arrest of Kem Sokha. Campaign group Human Rights Watch said the court ruling should lead Cambodia's donors and trade partners to impose targeted sanctions, including asset freezes and travel bans on Hun Sen's inner circle.